My Razor Rambler, as you can see, is pretty busted up here. This little frame notch that I made kind of disintegrated, and the chain and motor ended up falling off the bracket that was originally here. So this frame has been sitting around for a while, just kind of waiting for the opportunity to build something here. My brother comes along and he's like, hey dude, I've got this scooter over here. Feels very dangerous and I don't really want to ride it. Can you do something with this? And I think my plan is I'm gonna swap everything from this, what's this thing called? It's called an Iron Ride ES1. I'm gonna swap everything from this over to the Rambler. I think what I wanna do, just to make it easy, is for now I'm gonna swap over the front motor to the front of the Rambler and leave the Rambler as it is on the back so I can have brakes. I don't wanna mess with anything, and I know I'm gonna have to weld something to make it work. So I'm gonna leave it like it is right now. Front wheel drive. I think this is 48 volt or maybe 50 volts. I'll figure that out. If we turn this thing on, you'll get to see. It looks pretty badass. Watch this little boot up. That's pretty sick. And it's got a couple different modes. So Eco, I think, Standard, and Turbo. And there you go, look, it's 53 volts. So I think this is a 48 volt scooter. So that'll be perfect for this Rambler. And just if you take a look at it, I kind of did some mock-ups here on this back wheel. It looks to be about the same size as the wheel on the Rambler, including the axle. So everything should kind of bolt right up. I might have to change the axle size or something, but we're gonna see. I feel like I can make this work and it's gonna be really awesome. Got the scooter all taken apart. I've got the controller and everything disconnected. I've put little markings on here, so A, B, C, all of that, just so I know what plugs where, so I don't really have to keep track of it. Front wheel off. I'm gonna leave the rear on there for now. I think what I'm gonna do is swap my battery in that I've already got. This is 48 volt, and I've got a 48 volt inside that bag right there. I'll swap over these connectors for the charger and the battery. I don't know what to say, guys. This is amazing. Look at this. It fits directly on. I didn't have to modify anything, and that front wheel is on there. I think it looks kind of cool with that smaller wheel in the front and the normal size in the back. All right, I've got this thing pretty much tore down to the bare frame. The only thing is they like glued this battery in here, so no matter how much I wiggle it around, it looks like it's stuck in there. I don't want to damage the battery and start a fire or something, so I'm gonna leave that in there. I've got this battery over here, which is the original Rambler battery, inside a fireproof bag. It's got different connectors on here, and I have to try to figure something out. I've also got the Iron Ride screen, the throttle, and the control for the lights and horn and all that stuff. It's also the power button. I've got everything all hooked up to the Rambler. I've got the controller here, so I've just got to mount it somewhere, get everything all plugged in, and we should be ready to ride this thing. This thing is complete. I've converted everything over from the ES1 to the Razor Rambler 12. It's front wheel drive, which is a first for me. I didn't want to have to mess with brakes or anything. The Rambler's already got a brake setup that works perfectly. There's no modification required to make it work. So I decided to keep it front wheel drive. This is just the stock Rambler wheel on the back here. Little baby hub motor on the front. It looks kind of cool, like almost like a dragster. Like you'd see like the big wheels in the back and a small wheel in the front. Got this thing leaning over on its side. I can't exactly use the kickstand anymore. If I try to use it, it just falls over. So put that back up, and I'm just using the foot peg as a stand. It looks pretty cool, I think. Almost like a mini bike. Controller right here, just like the way the Rambler was in the beginning. The controller's just mounted underneath this little battery tray that I bent a little bit, bolted right onto the frame. I've got the front motor hooked up. The original battery that came with the ES1, it was like glued into the chassis for some reason. So I thought it was gonna be pretty dangerous to try to just pry that thing out. So what I did is I swapped over the battery connectors for the original Rambler battery. They were both 48 volts, so this should be plenty enough. I think this is actually more amp hours, so this should have better range. Just use a different charger. Thankfully I have one still from the old Razor build, and yeah, now I've got a bunch of empty space back here, so it looks pretty bare bones. I don't know if I could fit the battery in this little space here. I definitely like having this fireproof battery bag. We've got the control pad, we've got the display, I've got a trigger throttle, which is really awesome. I've never had anything like this on an e-bike or like an e-scooter. This thing is actually, it's beginning to be one of my favorite ways to control the bike. It's so smooth and easy. It just makes it feel more natural. I would imagine if you had another brake like the original ES1 had a brake on this side and a brake on this side. For right now, I've got left hand on the rear. and really nothing for the front except for throttle. I've got a couple of extra plugs here used for blinkers and stuff, but we don't really need to worry about anything like that on this bike. It turned out great. It was really easy. It took me maybe about 3 or 4 hours just in my garage. I mean, you guys saw it. It didn't really take that long. This is definitely worth it. If you've got an extra scooter laying around and you're fed up with the frame, or you want to build a RZR, something like this is really easy to do. You could do something like an MX350, the RZR Rambler, a RZR Pocket Mod. You know, those are 3 of the main ones I can think of that all have the same wheelbase, so it should be fairly simple just to mount everything up. But I know for certain that the RZR Rambler can take scooter parts, and honestly the RZR Rambler is way nicer to ride than the scooter. Enough chit chat. Let's take this thing for a little spin here. It's gonna say we're going 38 miles an hour and I'm on full throttle, but according to my phone GPS, we're only doing about 30, which is pretty decent for this bike. It's fun. So let's get it. Oh, already ripping. So I was riding around here and I saw this little loop, but as I was turning around to do the loop, I kind of just did like a little turn and then hit the throttle, and watch what the wheel does. It just drags you, dude. It's so awesome. Dude, I can run real fast. Look at that. Sidewalk. Ain't nobody on there. It just feels like a little go-kart. It's so fast. I just noticed this clean Integra. Look at that thing, it's beautiful. Sorry, I had to stop because I saw the Integra. But what I really wanted to do, look at that. Now it's gone. Yeah, this thing goes crazy. So fun. Oh yeah, I didn't even hit the horn either. That's loud. I think it worked too. Everyone kind of stopped after I hit the horn. That was a perfect example of like when the horn actually works. So that's the Iron Ride ES1 swapped RZR Rambler 12. Wow, that's a mouthful. I guess I should just say e-scooter swapped RZR Rambler. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but the title will be something either exactly like what I just said, or it's going to be something crazy. I guess you'll have to find out. But yeah, this thing is sick. Front wheel drive is actually really fun on a e-scooter. I highly suggest, if you've got a Rambler 12 and you've got a scooter laying around, or maybe you know someone that has a cool scooter that's actually kind of trash, I'm just saying it could swap real easy over to this. It's a head turner. Everyone's like, what is that thing? You need to do it, and you need to do it now.